Purpose-built 20-ton hydraulic press, built from scrap on a construction site, to straighten out the hydraulic legs on a demolition machine, before welding it back in place. Interesting project, working on the 7th floor of an office block in London. To squeeze this 20 mm, 3/4 inch gap closed before welding it back up again. I asked them to supply me with all the material to build this 20-ton purpose-built hydraulic press. The hydraulic leg support bracket cracked open after years of hard work. I was called in to find a way of solving this problem. I have a phrase on my website, which gets me into trouble quite often, saying, "My approach to work is, nothing is a problem. There's a solution to all problems." I requested a 20-ton hydraulic jack, but I was a little concerned at one point it wouldn't be sufficient. One can hire almost any size hydraulic jack on hire. These are all the components I had to work with, to get the job done in less than a day. The hydraulic jack was considerably longer than I requested. I was expecting a far shorter cylinder. The I-beam was rather short but fortunately ended up being the exact size we needed. I then needed to work out if the I-beam was long enough to accommodate the longer hydraulic cylinder. The angle iron stop ends were cut to size and placed the hydraulic cylinder in place. Measuring the gap distance to see if I had enough room for the demolition hydraulic legs to fit in. Stroke of luck on my side. It was like I made the calculations beforehand. Measured it with 19 mm, 3/4 inch to spare. I added in an additional brace to counteract the 20-ton force from the hydraulic cylinder shown here, because it's difficult to see when it's installed in position. This additional brace prevents the press from opening up under pressure. Notice the hydraulic cylinder tucked away in position under the I-beam. Everything ready and in place now. Ready to test my theory and my mental calculations. A little joke I sometimes tell people. I have my master's QBE. They first look very impressed, then ask, "What is QBE?" My reply: qualified by experience. 48 years of welding, construction and engineering experience. Now for the final testing. Applying the full 20-ton pressure and listening to the creaking sounds of the metal and the 20-ton hydraulic press taking strain. The metal being distorted and forced back into position to get it all to line up back into its original position. Hoping there weren't any high spots to restrain and stop the realignment. Well, it all went according to plan. Perfectly lined up. Really pleased with the results of my makeshift 20-ton purpose-built hydraulic press. Did the job. Now everything was ready to start the welding process. Tack welding wherever I could get in sufficiently to then release the pressure and remove the press out the way to complete the welding. As you can see in the video, I did as much preparation before I started the whole process by running an angle grinder over all the surfaces, as well as creating a V between the two surfaces to be welded. This helps to achieve maximum strength in your welds. I cranked up the welding machine amperage really high to start with. That's in order to achieve maximum penetration right into the pre-prepared material. Then running additional welding runs over the initial weld to build it up, slowly layering the welds and overlapping them to eventually achieve the weld to be stronger than the material itself. Really pleased with the outcome and results of the welding repair. This is what we teach in our weldinOneday.com welding courses. Teaching how a weld can be stronger than the material itself. Learn how to weld proficiently, in one day. Online HD video welding classes. Stick welding for beginners. MIG welding for beginners. Find out more by going to weldinOneday.com.